Maggie Mae, what are you doing in that empty campsite?
Hi, I'm Doug,
And I'm Kathy.
and as you saw, Maggie Mae is waiting outside at a campsite, and that's why we're here today, to tell you why she's doing that. As we talked about in our last video, we have been looking around at a lot of different motorhomes lately, and we told you there was some big changes in store, and that's what today's video is all about. The first thing that we looked at was a Tiffin Allegro open road, the gas coach. And I have to tell you that it was one of the first ones we looked at, and I fell in love with that coach. Loved the way it was built, loved the air conditioning system where the ACs are above the roof that keep them nice and quiet. A lot of things about that coach that I liked. And we kind of made up our mind that if we were going to do one of the new gas coaches, we were definitely going to wait until the 2021 chassis came out from Ford with the new V8 engine, the 6-speed automatic transmission, better fuel economy, just a whole lot of pluses. But there were still some minuses that we weren't completely sold with.
For me, it had an awfully short living space. When you walked in the gas coach, when you walk in, you're immediately looking to the left at the kitchen, and the living space cuts off really close because of where the mid-entry door comes in, and it's just another short shot to seeing the bedroom, and I kind of like more privacy than that.
It did have a residential refrigerator. It did have a fireplace. We were actually looking at a model that was called a 34 PA. Here comes Maggie Mae. She just wandered back from the campsite. But it was a model 34 PA. We really liked it. It was quad slide. It was spacious. But there was just a few things holding us back. And one of the biggest issues that we felt with our current gas coach and that chassis was how it feels top heavy, how you do kind of have to fight that front end to keep it going down the road exactly the way that you want it. And putting a different coach on top of the same chassis wasn't necessarily going to help us with that. So soon after the first of the year, we went up over at Daytona International Speedway for another RV show. It seems to be the recurring theme. We keep going and looking and trying to get ideas. And we found something over there that we really liked, a whole different direction. It was a Fleetwood Pace Aero XLE series, and it was a model 38F. Very similar in floor plan to what we liked in the Tiffin, but in a diesel chassis. Very nice high-end finishes, ceramic tile floor like what we have now.
One of the things I thought, it's a little thing, but ladies like, the faucet in the kitchen was just very elegantly shaped, and that just kind of touched off all of the rest of the finishes. The floor was beautiful. I loved that floor. And in the bathroom they had what they called a medicine cabinet, and yet it had frosted glass in it and was backlit. It was beautiful. I couldn't imagine putting your medicine in it, but it was very pretty. And I would have been one to put perfume bottles and little flower arrangements and that sort of thing in it.
It was a double vanity, and that unit went right up between the two sinks. It was really, the whole coach was very striking in appearance. There was a few things about the coach, it's all give and take. You're always going to find things you like and things you don't. It did have the traditional AC units that came through the ceiling, so they were just a little bit noisier than what we liked. Did have 3 AC units, which was really nice, especially in the heat we've been having down here in Florida. but because of the AC unit coming through the ceiling in the bedroom, didn't give us a ceiling fan, and I know that was one thing.
Yes, that is one thing that I kind of missed from the sticks and bricks, was having a ceiling fan at night. It doesn't take a whole lot of air, but especially in the small rooms, that it moves the air around so that you don't start feeling like you're suffocating in between the times when the air is shut off between its cycles. And unless you want to turn on or open the windows at night. And here, down here in Florida, last summer I experienced opening the windows and it was hot air pouring in. It was like, no, we'll close that back up. But a little fan to just move the air around a little bit, I felt would make a big difference.
Now that was a Freightliner diesel chassis, 340 horsepower Cummins diesel engine. You go down the list and there wasn't a whole lot of things that we could find that really wasn't what we wanted. But typical fashion, we kept looking. And the next spot we went looking at was the Tampa, Florida RV show. And we ended up being down there for 2 different days. The first day we went down there, we took another look at the Pace Arrow. We really liked that unit. And we went and spent a lot of time at the Newmar booth. We were looking for 2 particular coaches, both of them gas, the Bay Star and the Canyon Star. And the 2 particular floor plans we wanted were unique because one had an island, like what you see in a lot of fifth wheels, but very rarely in a motorhome.
The other one had a peninsula. I was really interested in seeing the peninsula.
Unfortunately, out of all the thousands of RVs that are there, they didn't happen to have either floor plan. But we did see some that we liked. We did like the finishes. And we also decided, since we had looked at the Pace Arrow at the diesel coach, we owed it to ourselves to look at what their diesel offerings were. We looked at the Country Star, which is where they start in their diesel pushers. It was a nice coach, but it just didn't have the wow factor that the finishes in the Pace Arrow had. And then we looked at the Super Cs, the Superstar. That one really got Kathy.
I loved the Superstar, and what really amazed me was that it didn't have the slide outs. Was it just on one side or
Yeah, it was
both?
only on one side.
It was only on the one side, but the finishes around the windows were just beautiful and very like a little cottage on the inside. It was just sweet, and I was surprised at how I didn't feel as closed in as I do in most of them that don't have the opposing slides. I loved the front had a big skylight over the seats as you're going down the road, and that was just very exciting because you could get a lot of light in whenever you were parked, but also gave you more view when you're going down the road. I really liked that.
Now, one of the things that we specifically liked in that, again, were the finishes. The tile backsplash, the flooring, the cabinetry. And we did find, after doing a little bit more looking, that the Ventana, their diesel pusher, had a lot of the same finishes that the Superstar had. Unfortunately, as much as we liked them, both of them were priced a little higher than where we wanted to be, and we're kind of out of our price range. So we're still stuck on the Pace Arrow. So we came home, I believe we went on a Thursday, and we came home and we kicked everything around for a couple of days. We went back to the Tampa Super Show a second time over the weekend, and we looked through the Newmars again, we looked through the Pace Arrow again, and almost on a whim, as we left out of the Fleetwood booth, I said, well, let's look in the Discovery, because they're sister coaches. The Pace Arrow XLE and the Discovery are pretty much similar coaches. And we found a Discovery in the floor plan that we liked. Again, the same type of finishes and everything that we saw in the Pace Arrow. Very high-end looking. The faucet that she liked was the same. But it brought one more thing to the party that we really hadn't even considered. It was an all-electric coach. And we have through videos on YouTube, Mark and Julie's video that they did about the where RVs go to die. If you haven't seen, you have to. But the amount of RV fires that come from propane, one reason we want a residential refrigerator. But our propane in this coach, we keep it turned off all the time. If we're going to be cooking, we're cooking on the grill outside, or we're cooking in the microwave convection oven inside, and or she's got a small portable electric skillet that she'll use, but we don't use the
It's
propane.
a toy.
But it works. But we don't use the propane cooktop. We've fired up the furnaces once to make sure they work, but we've used the fireplace and the heat from that and the heat pumps on the roof. So the idea of an all-electric coach was really, really appealing to us. It uses an aqua hot system so that you're using either diesel or electricity for your continuous hot water, and for kind of like radiator type heat that are small radiators with fans that blow through them to give you a nice moist heat during the winter. So we kind of came out of that thinking that Discovery pretty well checked off most of the boxes.
Mm-hmm.
It had the 3 air conditioners. They did come through the roof, which I didn't really like. It didn't have the ceiling fan, which she didn't really like. But, you know, as we've always said, you're never going to have the perfect RV. And this one had 98% of what we wanted. So we've been back to the park at Thousand Trails Orlando for about a week, and they had, as they've had a couple of times before the outbreak this year, an RV show here at the park. They have a dealership come in. They bring in a half a dozen different coaches of different brands, makes, and models, and we walked into one coach, and Kathy said the words that I've always wanted to hear.
This is it.
It's exactly what she said. And that particular one was a Tiffin Allegro red. It was a 37BA. It was a bath and a half coach, which we've always said we didn't really want a bath and a half because with the 2 of us, we didn't really need a bath and a half. It had the air conditioning system we were looking for. It had the ceiling fan we were looking for. There's a few things with the floor plan that were give or take, but we really liked the finishes, the fit, the quality, everything that we were seeing in that coach. And so after the weekend went past, we decided maybe we should take one more look, because it seems like every time you take a second look at it, you either find more things that you like or you find more things that you missed the first time that were kind of deal breakers. So we ended up and we went to the dealer that was holding the show here. We looked around at quite a few, probably 6 or 8 different coaches that they had new on their lot. And we ended up and decided that Allegro Red 37BA that we saw was not the coach for us. But we did find the floor plan we were looking for with the right features, the right options. We found in different models, we found exactly what we wanted. We knew in order to get exactly what we wanted, we were going to have to order one and get it just the way we wanted. So the 20th of February, we placed an order for our new coach. And that is what Maggie is sitting out there waiting on. She's waiting on that new coach to arrive. Now, at the time, we didn't know the upcoming health crisis was on its way. We didn't know to what extent it was going to affect anything from the economy to manufacturing to everyone's lives in one manner or another. Some people have looked at the health crisis and decided that it's the reason they need to become nomadic, to sell the house, to be able to live in a mobile environment and get themselves to a place that's safe. Other people, and you've seen this on YouTube already, other people have looked at it as an excuse to slow down RVing, possibly get out of RVing and move back into a sticks and bricks. It has probably made us more committed to following our dream and continuing the full-time lifestyle and getting out there and seeing our country. So we very much are looking forward to our new coach arriving very soon. Now the next video that we'll have out here is going to give you some details about what we ended up with, the options that we chose, the colors that we chose, and why we got exactly the one that we got. So we're going to leave you in suspense as Maggie sits, well, she's sitting in here right now, but she'll be guarding that other spot for us. So until next time, we want to thank you for joining us. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, be sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell. That way you'll be informed when the next video comes out, because that one you will not want to miss.
We're going to continue to follow the moon.
Absolutely. Come join us. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you've enjoyed it. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel and be sure to ring the notification bell so you'll know when we have new videos listed. Also, be sure to check out our blog at followthemoon.us and also our Facebook page at Follow the Moon and on Instagram at Follow the Moon Travel. Thanks.